The Habs get their first win of the season as Arber Xhekaj punches Corey Perry in the face. The veterans Monahan and Pearson get it done. Plus, Caufield scores. Harvey Pinard is insane. And a lot more to talk about on this edition of Habs Digest. Time to just get straight into the video. No hesitation. Bedard's debut, I know it's not his NHL debut, but it's his debut versus the Habs and his debut on Hockey Night in Canada, and it was spoiled. First off, Jesse, it was a bit of a surprising decision from Luke Richardson to not have Bedard on the opening faceoff to start his Hockey Night in Canada debut Saturday night versus the Montreal Canadiens at Le Centre Bell. But hey, it was spoiled because the Montreal Canadiens came out with a 3-2 victory, and really it wasn't that close. There was a late goal by Tyler Johnson, then another empty netter by Tyler Johnson, or with the goalie pulled, I should say. But oh boy, the Habs played really well, and you couldn't ask for more for some of these guys. But I was maybe most impressed this game with Cole Caufield, Raphael Harvey Pinard. Cole Caufield scoring that goal where he bats it out of the air off a rebound, and Harvey Pinard creating unlimited chances. It feels like everyone in this lineup, top to bottom, is just performing at a high level through Montreal's first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, Cole Caufield, amazing to see him get his second goal, and it's just his second game of the season, so on an amazing pace already. And it was really a beauty goal that he scored, making an amazing play, showing some great hands on a move to get it to the outside, to the backhand, and then tipping it out of midair just to make sure that it goes in. It probably would have went in anyway, but just for the finesse at the end. Really, really nice to see a beautiful goal from him. So that's what was so great tonight, though. It's like on every single line, there was like a player that would stand out. And you mentioned, RHP as well. Like special teams was such a big part of this first period. There was so many penalties. We're on the power play, but like whenever it came for the penalty kill, like RHP was huge every time, contributing some goals as well. So, I mean, just a great game through and through.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like watching the Habs special teams tonight was really a breath of fresh air. Now, they didn't get much time on the power play, just a couple of them, but they looked good. Now, I will say the most of the shots in the power play still came from the point, whether it was Matheson or Xhekaj with some attempts to tip in front, which is not bad, but you wish Caufield, Suzuki, Dach might have got some more chances. But we got to talk about Dach a bit too before we head into the rest of this video. He only played 4 minutes and 40 seconds tonight. He unfortunately got hurt. He kind of went knee on knee with Jarred Tinordi as Tinordi dumps him into the Chicago Blackhawks bench. It's the first time Dach has been on the Blackhawks bench in a few years. Haha. But yeah, really unfortunate. We try to laugh through the pain, but oh my gosh, with Emil Heineman probably suffering a concussion in Laval as well. It's just rough. You got to think Pizzetta is going to be moving into the lineup with Newhook shifting over to center soon, but hopefully Dach is okay. Like, of all people, really like Kirby Dach, but hey, whatever. We move on. The Habs really rallied, though, after that injury, and even his line mates, Jesse, Slafkovsky and Newhook, they really shined the rest of the game. Slav's game wasn't as good as his previous game, but he was still getting his shots. He has a few more things to learn, but he's still noticeable. But man, I wanted to talk a bit about Newhook too. That kid, I mean, probably my favorite Hab at this point. Again, like he is just so skilled, so fast, and he feels extremely dangerous whenever he has the puck.
It's true. It's amazing to watch him play. Like he honestly looks a lot of the time like one of our most skilled players, and he's showing really great hands as well. So he's kind of making Kent Hughes really look like a genius here for this move. It's like we had to pay to get him, but for what he's bringing to this lineup, the speed, we already kind of figured he would fit the kind of hockey that we do like to play, but he's been a difference maker so far for this team, so I'm really excited to see him continue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the young guys played well. The defense was pretty solid again today. Although I will say Guhle played well. Matheson maybe not as noticeable. At the end of the game, Matheson and Suzuki had to block a couple of hard shots to save the Habs from heading to overtime down on the power play or something. But yeah, it was hey, it was a great game all in all, but we got to focus on some specific players. And I wanted to first talk about the vets. Like, my goodness, 2 of the goals in this game, Sean Monahan and Tanner Pearson, this line that looked so poor in the first game of the season against the Leafs, really bounced back tonight. Now, Monahan's goal, to be fair, was on the penalty kill off of a breakaway that was spurred by Raphael Harvey Pinard, and he had done that multiple times this game, leading to breakaways. But this one from Monahan, make no mistake, there's the Habs, I believe, the third goal of the second period. He snipes it top left corner, and Tanner Pearson, when he got his break, he fired it from about the hash marks, an absolute missile of a shot over the left shoulder of Peter Mrazek over the glove hand right into the top corner. And while Brendan Gallagher still looks a little slow, maybe as the season goes on, he'll start fitting in a bit better. But the fact that these vets were getting it done tonight, Jesse, especially in a game where where someone like Kirby Dach gets knocked out of the game early, it's really, really awesome to see that this depth, and so far this Pearson signing looks pretty decent. I mean, if that's the kind of shot he's packing, I feel like he can provide some serious value to this team. Plus, he's a penalty killer.
Yeah, that's what I think was really the key for the win today. And it was a nice win, all the same, Blackhawks are still kind of rebuilding, but they're still a different team right away, with Connor on the team, right? Already a win on the season. So you don't want to take this for granted, but it was really that team effort that really made the difference in this. Monahan, everybody's been noticing he's looking great already. So many people are kind of making demands for him to already to go up the lineup, and they're saying like we really got to take advantage of his talents, maybe with some other players as well. But nice to see him have some chemistry there with Pearson as well, and nice to see Pearson get off to a good start. Early with the Habs, you have to feel like that's good for his confidence, because that was a great shot. We know what Monahan's capable of as well, so like really key that like our big guns like Caufield are getting off to a great start, but some of our depth guys as well, and having some goal scoring, which has been an issue last year, but like through these first two games, we're showing we're able to score some goals. And conversely, I think we should mention, Samuel Montembeault, who didn't have a bad game tonight either.
No, he played wonderful tonight. I mean, a 9.29 save percentage tonight. He made some really, really big saves. There was a lot of scrambles in front as the game went on, especially as Chicago was really trying to desperately claw back into this game, and he was standing his ground. The only real goal he gave up to Tyler Johnson was off a nice play by the Blackhawks, kind of across the crease and whatever. And the other goal he gave up was a scramble in front of the net while the Blackhawks had the goalie pulled. And all in all, like he was on point, saving a lot of Bedard shots, saving some cross crease passes. He was really, really phenomenal and good shout. Like there was just so many good things about the Montreal Canadiens tonight, and Monty was definitely one of them. Before we move on to our Xhekaj stuff, Jesse, who do you think gets the start in the Habs next game on Tuesday versus Minnesota? Do you think it's Monty, or do you think they go back to Jake Allen?
I think because Monty won tonight, just because of that, keep with the hot hand. He played great, right? I don't think that Jake Allen had a terrible game either against Leafs, but I think Monty so far probably, you had to say he probably had the better of the two.
I agree.
It's going to be, a very, obviously they're both going to get a lot of games, but it's nice that we have like some good competition here that we feel like, okay, maybe it's completely set, and you got to feel like that'll bring out the best of both of them.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope we can get some friendly competition, and that leads to a lot more wins. But let's talk about Arber Xhekaj, because, like, look, we've talked about all the goals, the vets, everything, but we got to save Xhekaj for last, because he is a bully, and bully in the best possible way, Jesse. I mean, he, again, is just laying the body. He had a 99.5, or 99.8 mile per hour slap shot at one point that got blocked as well. Not only does he have the power, he has the ability to be on the power play. He has this knack for getting the pucks to the net. He's an intimidating presence on defense, but again, just showing that when other players are physical to the Habs, he's the first one to step in. There was a pretty brutal hit on Caufield. I think it was Vlasic that kind of mashed his face into the boards, and you saw Xhekaj and Anderson kind of get up, and we saw Xhekaj as well with tangled up with Corey Perry behind the net. Former Hab, of course, Corey Perry. We all loved him when he was here. We hate him when he's not. And when he was down, Xhekaj kind of gave him an extra shove. Perry gets up, gives him a jab, and Xhekaj just left hand right to the face, right to the mouth of Corey Perry. Somehow they just got offsetting minors. Don't ask me why the refs decided that, but I'm not complaining. Arber Xhekaj, again, just making himself known as a scary presence, right? We saw Ryan Reeves in Toronto tonight go after his former Minnesota teammates, laying huge hits like one on Freddie Gaudreau. Had to fight Marcus Foligno in that other game. But, guess what didn't really happen when Arber Xhekaj was on the ice? Like, this guy is so intimidating, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran with status like Corey Perry. He's going to sock you in the face. And is it the best thing ever to be punching people in the face after a whistle? Maybe not, but when it's Arber, it's like, hey, you know what? He's so unique, and even that brings value.
Yeah, no, he knows what he's got to do. He knows what his role is. He knows, when it's that time to kind of stand up a little bit more. And that's what I'm liking about this team, is that we're really standing up for each other. If anything kind of happens, we're there to look after our teammates, and you see Xhekaj in some of the scrums. He's one of the few players in the NHL. Like, he has like one Blackhawk in one hand and then another Blackhawk in another. Yeah. In the scrum, just completely manhandling both of them, but he just provides that a little bit of that sandpaper that this team needs, right? That's just so important. While at the same time, again, those sneaky wristers. There was a lot of blocked shots tonight in this game, especially in that first period. But he has this great ability, these quick shots to be able to get it to the net, So I think we're gonna see him again doing a pretty good job on that power play. I'm happy to see it. And again, what I like about him being there is he's not afraid to shoot it. Mm-hmm. He wants to take the chance. He's going to be aggressive on it, which is what you kind of need on the power play, right?
Yeah, I mean, being aggressive is something that Montreal has kind of desperately needed for a while. And you know what? I really thought the whole team, not just Xhekaj, showed that tonight. Penalty kill as well, right? The Habs were jumping the Blackhawks players. Now, I know the Blackhawks are really one of like, maybe have one of the weaker rosters in the NHL. Let's not kid ourselves. But at the same time, to see Montreal being this aggressive, being able to make these plays, not just someone like a Xhekaj who's all over the place, but Harvey Pinard, Owen and Pearson, these guys just making
Mhm.
every play they need to jump the Blackhawks guys when they get the chances to create offensive opportunities for Montreal. It's no coincidence that Montreal had 35 plus shots tonight, right? It was a really wonderful game from the Habs all around. I thought everyone played pretty great top to bottom. Yeah, there's some players that can improve on some stuff, and we really hope Kirby Dach gets better. But hey, what a way to get the first win of the season at home in the Centre Bell Saturday night versus Connor Bedard. Couldn't be happier. But that'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10K. We're just over 8 now, maybe 8.5 is more realistic. Regardless, if you're watching at this point and haven't hit the button, do it now. You won't regret it, I promise. I'm Josh Goss, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.